Ed Harrell, you old so-and-so, it's good to see you. How have you been?
I've been well, Brian. For a man of my age and miles, I've been very okay.
You look great for 25.
Thank you.
I really got to tell you. Now, as you can see, we have set aside our traditional Burgh Vivant martinis for wine, because today we are talking about the Pittsburgh Wine Festival 2015, of which you are the president.
Yes.
That is quite an honor. I am humbled to be in your presence because wine is one of my favorite topics.
Well, if you drink enough of it, they may make you president.
Well, I think I'm already a contender. Are you the guy I got to talk to?
Maybe.
If you ever think of retiring, please.
All right.
Please think of me.
All
But you have quite a history with Pittsburgh. You were formerly the president of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review newspaper.
That's correct. Trib Total Media. And we started out, when I went to work for them in 92, I believe. It was shortly before the press went on strike.
The Pittsburgh Press?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one paper, and by the time I retired, however many years ago that was, it seems like forever, but it was probably only about 8. We had 5 dailies, 23 weeklies, and several things on the internet. So
Wow.
it was a very nice run. It's always better to build something than to take it apart. So
Now, did you? So you were essentially one of the founders, or the founder of the Pittsburgh Wine Festival.
yes, I decided we'd like to do it, and drove to Harrisburg and met a fellow who was then head of the PLCB, Jonathan Newman. And I've dealt with Harrisburg quite a bit in my role at the newspaper,
Yeah.
so I expected someone to contemplate this for 2 years. And decided it was too much work or something.
Yeah, our liquor laws in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. I think they're still left over from the Pilgrims.
Well, the Pilgrims didn't drink, but and maybe that is a reflection. But anyway, Jonathan, when I said let's have a wine festival in Pittsburgh, he looked at me and said, "When do you want to do it?"
Wow.
And so it was born that day and delivered about 9 months later, proper gestation period.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
this was while you were still at the Trib?
Yeah. And so when I left the Trib, and I make that sound like something other than retiring, but when I retired from the Trib, I asked if I could take it with me, and they graciously said yes. So now I find myself as president of the Pittsburgh Wine Festival, and we also do a whiskey festival.
Oh, now see, I didn't know that was you too, the Whiskey
Yeah,
Festival.
We're almost the poster boy for AA.
Keep on going. Well, but it's there's nothing like it in this region, certainly.
Nothing this size.
Yeah.
We expect about 3,000 people
Wow.
each year, and we have over 600 wines being poured from 28 countries. So the logistics of it is more difficult than a lot of people might think. But
Well, how does that work? Do you just kind of reach out to wineries around the globe and say, "Hey, we're having this big party in Pittsburgh, come on down"? And
with the help of the Liquor Control Board, we do that. They, of course, have contacts with all those people, but
Right,
they
right.
buy through them. And so we lean on them to help us get the people here. But yes, that's really how it's done. But we're fortunate in that we have such a good reputation that we are in the position of usually of declining people.
wow.
Because frankly, you just... I can't take any more space in the venue. I don't want it to appear so crowded that people have a bad time.
Right, right.
So if 600 wines aren't enough, see me later.
I may for 601. Wow. So now, are they permitted to sell bottles of their wine while they're at the festival, or just sample?
Well, another thing unique about this festival is we set a wine store up. We don't, but the PLCB sets up a wine store there. And when you're tasting something, if you're interested, you can get a slip of paper and you take it back to the wine store and you can buy it you can take it home, or they will deliver it to the store near you where you can pick it up.
Now, it seems to me that something like this has really enhanced the Pittsburgh food landscape, because in a lot of ways Pittsburgh has been considered beer in a shot town. But
when I first moved here in 1982, Richmond was not exactly forward thinking in this stuff, but I was shocked at how little wine you found in restaurants. The lesser quality of the restaurants were surprising to me. I really thought I was moving north. A north to a southern where meant kind of sophistication that we might not have. You know? Yeah. So it was a little shocking when I got here, and but I have to say I'm so delighted with the way restaurants are growing here. People are taking an interest in wine and food, and
so. In a sense, if you don't like the landscape, change it, improve it.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
I think that about everything.
Now, how can we get involved in the wine festival this year? It's coming up this week. Tickets still available?
Tickets are available. You go to pittsburghwinefestival.com, and it will explain what wines are being poured, what the timings are on different things, and there are really two ticket size. One's a VIP ticket, which allows you to come in at 5 and leave at 9, and that basically also is the first 2 hours of that they're pouring some wines that they're not pouring the rest of it. And the second ticket is 7 to 9, and that's called the grand tasting. The VIP is $250. The grand tasting is $125. So, but they're both listed online. And someone asked me one day if this was a little expensive, and I said, well, we haven't changed that price in 12 years. And I would invite you to go look at what we're pouring and look at what the Wine Spectator is pouring in New York, and it's $1,200 to go there.
Right. And 600 wines.
Yeah, and if you go to the right tables, you get that back pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I don't know how many of you keep Chateau Margaux in the basement, but you ought to let her out every now and then. So this is a good chance to try it.
So what is your advice upon arrival? You know, you walk into the center. There's 600 wines tasting. Where do we begin? What's the process?
Well, I think you begin on the internet with the website, and you look at what's being poured. Now, if you're knowledgeable about wine, you quickly show maybe 10, 12 tables you want to go to. So you focus on that. If you're just learning, this is a great place to learn because of the variety being offered. And I would look at it, if I were just learning about it, I would look at what's being poured and start writing, and just take different varietals. Chardonnay, Cabernet, Sauvignon Blanc, Champagne, whatever. Look at each one and decide, okay, I'm going to try one of each of these and select it, and whatever's left over is, let's go. People always ask me, what is good wine? What should I buy? And I always say, it's what you like.
Right.
Because it really is distinct matter of palate. If you don't like it, it's bad wine. Don't buy it.
I like that.
I can actually claim to be a local, I think.
We're glad to have you.
I haven't gotten around to yins yet, but I'm trying.
There's time. There's always time for yins.
I've been called a right-wing idiot and a communist on the same day.
Wow.
So,
and that was just Tuesday.
That was just Tuesday.
Have you ever considered running for public office?
Yes, but I came to my senses. So, you know, if they drop the big one, I have a basement full. I'm just good.
You're good.
I'm good. I just get
You're good. You're prepared. That's nice. I like that. Now, what we didn't film is when we started. They were both our glasses were up here.
Well, we can't tell all our secrets, can we?
Now, what's your limit about how many glasses before you start getting wild?